Hi, this is Reporter's Take. I'm Sakshi Batra and I have with me my colleague Priyanka Sahay, and we are here to talk about how the issue of revised FDI guidelines refuses to abate. It continues to be in top headlines, and the latest we hear is that there is some issue brewing in the online restaurant space, and Priyanka is here to talk more about it. Thanks a lot, Priyanka. What's the latest that you're hearing?
So, well, Sakshi, even as we speak, the Offline Restaurant Association, they have been crying foul, seeking clarification from the government on whether or not the Press Note 2, the revised guidelines that was brought into place in December, whether or not the online restaurant, the online food tech companies, whether or not they fall under the ambit of Press Note 2. As of now, there's no clear guidelines that will go on stating that they do. However, the offline restaurant associations have been saying that, given the fact that they are marketplaces, given the fact that they do aggregate restaurants on their platform, it's impossible that they would not. Right. And they've also gone and stated that DIPP has given them a clarification stating that all these companies will have to adhere to the protocol, will have to adhere to the guidelines that have come. So this is what you're hearing. This is the first leg of conversation that the restaurant associations have had with DIPP. So that is where we're positioned as of now.
Right. So this is an important development, and we'll just have to see what the online, food tech companies like Swiggy, Zomato, and Food Panda have to say about this. Because considering this important situation, in case there is a clarity and they will fall under Press Note 2, there'll be a lot of complications for their marketplace models as well. So what do you expect as of now? Do you expect these considerations, the government to actually come out with a clarification regarding all this?
So that's right, Sakshi. As we speak, the government is expected to meet some of these industry leaders. So we are hearing from our sources that it's likely that the next week the government will call some of these companies, that will include the likes of Swiggy, Zomato, Food Panda and Uber Eats, and they'll have a meeting. They'll try and discuss this issue across the table and try and clarify a lot of the confusion that the industry is having as of now. And once we have that, we will we'll have a larger clarification on whether or not these companies will fall under Press Note 2, and to what extent will they have to, change their business model in order to adhere to the norms.
Absolutely. And lastly, Priyanka, I'd like to understand from you, in case we know that the offline restaurant associations have been crying foul for more clarity on Press Note 2 as to whether the online food tech companies fall under that ambit or not. In case in the next week's meeting, like you just pointed out, if a decision or a clarification comes in favor of the offline restaurant associations, then what kind of impact will you foresee probably on these food tech majors?
So, Sakshi, there are two parts to it. One, we'll have to understand that much like Flipkart or Amazon, there is a lot of business overhaul which will be required, because at the end of the day, even these food tech companies do have private labels on board. These food tech companies do offer discounts to the consumer, and Press Note 2 goes ahead stating that even directly or indirectly, none of the marketplaces can influence the price of a product. Having said that, the other part is how will it impact the sentiment of foreign investors in the country. Currently, it's a very crucial phase for the food tech sector, especially when we are hearing one of the mega consolidation that is in the work. So Uber Eats is learned to be in talks and is perhaps is in the final stages for a potential acquisition by domestic player, which is Swiggy. Our sources tell us that a top global head of Uber Eats was in India last month and had conversations with a lot of companies in the food tech space, and finally they have shortlisted or settled down with Swiggy. Now at a time when so much of investment is expected to happen, such big ticket deals to happen, clarification from the government not in the favor of perhaps the online restaurants, online food tech companies could actually dent the sentiment to some extent, I would say.
Sure. Thanks a lot then, Priyanka, for sharing all those details. Well, lots happening in the online food tech space. For now, all eyes are on next week when the DIPP will sit across with all these online food tech companies and will issue a clarification. We'll just have to see what kind of clarification comes out, and we'll keep you posted on that in this space. So stay logged on to Moneycontrol.com for more news and updates. Thanks for watching.